Hi, and welcome back to Magic Mountain My Way, an RCT2 Let's Build series where I take the Six Flags Magic Mountain map in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and just sort of build whatever I want on it. It's not a recreation, and it's just for me to get used to all the features in Open RCT2 after not playing the game for 10 years. So, as I said in the last episode, this one is going to be a coaster build. And I knew I wanted a wooden coaster. I've had quite the obsession with Boulder Dash at Lake Compounds for quite some time. I've not ridden it yet, but it is on my agenda of places to visit eventually. And I wanted to build something like that in this park, especially using the hilltop, the mountainside. I thought it would be a nice visual when entering the park to see this coaster sort of pop out from behind the trees. So I wanted something that was, for the most part, terrain conforming, but it definitely deviates from that. I've been playing with various different layouts, but I kind of knew this initial stretch where it would dive under the skyride and then pop out over the top of the back of the fountain with that swooping turnaround and back on itself. I knew that I wanted that in the layout. So this this section here caused me quite a lot of trouble. Once I put the brake run in, I knew what that back end section was going to look like, and again it was very Boulder Dash with its sort of return along the hillside with lots of airtime hills, and I wanted that in this coaster. I thought it would look great along the mountainside again. I keep saying that. But I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to join these two sections, and you'll see me battling this quite a bit. I get there eventually, and looking back, I don't know, I feel like I could have made it work, but what I ended up with felt the most realistic to me in the grand scheme of things. And as I mentioned in the previous episode, I'm going for as much realism as possible with this. I'm not going ultra realistic, but as realistic as I can stomach building. I did like this S-turny bend situation uphill, but it just sort of wasn't a vibe, I'll be honest. I do change the height of the first drop. Oh, I'm doing it right now. I do change the height of the first drop just to give the layout a bit more speed. It was making it through the layout fine, but it just needed that little extra to give me the pacing that I wanted from it. I wanted this to be as much of an airtime machine as it could be, because that's the type of wooden coaster that I do love. And if you can hear doors closing in the background, I do apologise. We have moved into a new house, and it's very echoey whenever we open and close doors here. But yeah, here you can see I'm still trying to figure this out. Eventually I do make it up. I do eventually figure it out, and I dive under the first brake run there, under the lift hill, under the brake run, and up on the other side. But that's sort of what I wanted to settle on. This coaster, it feels, I think this would be a CCI type coaster. I guess in the timeline of events of this park, if this were real, this would have been not an opening day attraction by any means, but probably would have been the first big draw for the park. There we go, we've got it underneath the brake run now. Still a little bit of finessing needed, but it'll get there. And I wanted that brake run where it sort of finishes high up and then we'll drop down into the transfer area there. I'm sure I looked at a POV of Lake Compounds of Boulder Dash, and I think it was a sliding transfer. So that is the type of transfer I put in. It's only going to run 2 trains, so in theory, if I'm thinking about this practically, one would be able to be transferred off, and if needs be, the other one, if it wasn't to sit in the station, it could sit in the transfer area as well. As I'm using the Magic Mountain map, I wanted to stay as truthful as possible in terms of like the path layout that was given to me at the start, because I mean it's just very helpful for me. I mentioned previously that I'm not great at building off the cuff with a flat map or a blank map, so I like having a template there to build off of. So because of that, I have decided to try and follow the paths that were available as much as possible. This path in the center here now that I'm putting in is an access path. So the gates would be on the bottom there, just underneath the turnaround before the lift. And this access path is here to provide working access to the transfer if they would need to take any trains off to take to some other additional shed to work on, or access both brake runs there, and also there'll be another thing later down the line that it will access as well. So it's kind of like a bit of an access hub, which, again, thinking practically, I imagine would work quite well. I'm also going in and putting hints of like steel, not barriers, steel supports over where there would be a gap in the structure, just to make sure it's fine. I don't know. But yeah, I'm putting in some makeshift paths there to gain access to the brake runs and fencing it all off. And I do try my best to go through and ride restrict everything as much as possible. I think it will get to a point with this ride or this park where I may open it to fake peeps and not all the path will be used, so there'll be some areas that won't quite be perfectly fenced off in comparison to others. But here we are. I'm sending the exit path underneath and around the back, just because I think it makes the most sense, because I've got the least amount of room that side. And I do go in and put an accessible lift in that side too. And then the queue line is sort of going to snake around. I'm going to do the thing where I build a queue line, but I'm leaving it in, like, what we call it at work would be short, medium, or long racks. So it's based on how long you want the queue to be, basically. What I'd imagine is this back section would be long racks, and then there's going to be a little extra bit on the front here, which when it's added, I imagine would be what we would call medium racks, and based on the demand, obviously each section would open up throughout the day, or at the start of each day, or whatever the predicted capacity is for that day. Going through the station now, I like these roof pieces. There's the mine theming with the log cabin roof, which I've used here, and then there's also the jungle theming, which I love. But in the original game, I think it's only these two roof styles that you get which don't have the stucco in the center, which blocks it off. I just like how open it is. It just feels a bit more flexible and a bit more naturalistic in terms of roofing. Adding in some of the foliage there. I do want to keep palm trees throughout. Again, I want to keep this as authentic to Magic Mountain, Santa Clarita, where it is, which is terrain heaven. I don't know. Terrain heaven, that's awful. But yeah, I'm sort of floating around now. I can't remember what I do. I know I put on some queue line covers at some point, to like shade off that queue line, and shade off and add some shaded area, should I say, to the switchback sections of the queue line, and adding the fence there just to screen that maintenance area a little bit. Again, with the nature of this park, I'm not too bothered if guests can completely see maintenance areas. I mean, as long as it looks nice, that's all I'm really bothered about. I don't know if I would ever... My building style is not great when it comes to super themed stuff. I quite like this more Cedar Fair approach. Yeah. So with that, I think we're coming to the end of this one now. I'm just tidying up some pathwork around here. Around the back of that Skyride station as well there. Adding ramps in where I can. And then changing a bit of the pathwork there just to get rid of that red. It's iconic to Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and if anyone is familiar with Forbidden Valley at Alton Towers, that had a random red section for quite a while. But I personally don't like the red path. when it comes to naturalistic building. Anyway, that's enough from me. This is sort of an overview of what we've got, of what we're working with at the moment. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I will see you again in the future for maybe another one. I say maybe another one. There will definitely be another one, as I've recorded a few. But anywho, thank you so much, and I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.